back to a new episode, guys. In today's video we're going to talk about TradingView. As you've seen this site, this tool already in a couple of videos. In this video I'm going to explain how to use it and some tips for beginners, because surely if you log on to TradingView or go to the site first, it can be a bit overwhelming, and it is overwhelming, but then this video will explain how to make it a calm place, because of course it needs to be your main workspace where you make your analysis, test your strategy, etc. So it has to be calm and efficient, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. Like and subscribe as always, I really appreciate it. I'm a bit ill, you can hear it on my voice maybe, but I can't change it right now. So let's get into the video. If you just go to tradingview.com, and something is very important, let me show that. If you go to tradingview.com, you'll see this. And on TradingView there's way more than just the charts, but I don't use it. You see community, markets, brokers, even more on the screen. I don't use it, and you shouldn't use it either. I don't even know what it is. What you need to do is go to products, super charts, and then you see the charts. Already you have the charts, and that's everything you need. Now it doesn't look like this. It looks white because it's in light mode. I already disabled it because my eyes are bleeding and your eyes will too. How do you disable the light mode or enable the dark mode? You go top left where you see your profile, and then you see dark theme. You can turn it on. Very simple. So now we have that already. That's the most important thing. And secondly, I'm going to change another thing in the charts. More about the colors, etc. later in the video. What I have, the colors I have, I'll show that at the end of the video, so you just can copy if you prefer that. We have to remove this grid. Those lines you see, they have no value, they don't do anything for us, they're a bit annoying, they're not aesthetic, so let's remove them. How do we do this? We right click on the chart here, we go to settings, and I believe it's status, it's canvas, my bad, canvas, and then you see grid lines, vert and horse, if I pronounce it right. You press none and then it's gone. First of all, that was already that, and as mentioned, colors later in the video. Now let's start with the candlesticks. Candlesticks are green and red, famous and just the basic. Many people have different colors, and there are multiple reasons why people do that. The first reason people started doing that was because of psychology. People or minds are link green with winning and making money, and red with losing money, not doing well. While in trading, of course, you can short, so make money with price dropping in value and still make money. So people change their colors to blue or filled colors or unfilled colors to detach from that feeling. Now I don't use it because I don't think it matters that much for me personally, and also it's a bit more difficult to educate you guys and explain and show charts to others if they first have to find out the color and this and that, and surely for beginners that's even more confusing, and we don't need that. If you want to change the chart colors, it's very easy. Go to settings here, you see symbol, body, border, swipe. One thing I did change from the colors of the charts and the candlesticks is the wicks. Of course you know by now what wicks are, and as you can see, if the candle is green, the wicks are green. If the candle is red, the wicks are red. I disabled this because a wick just has to be a wick. A wick doesn't matter if price dropped in that candlestick or went up in value, so the wick is just white or neutral for me. How do you do this? As I mentioned, settings, symbol, wick. Of course don't disable it, but just choose something gray or white, what you want. You can change the opacity. Let's do this color for now, wick. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Alright, so wick, just have it gray or just a neutral color. So that were candlesticks. Now another reason why people change their colors is just aesthetics, purely aesthetics, and that's actually why most people do it, because they see their idol TJR or whoever uses white candlesticks and blue candlesticks. Let me do that too. Oh, that looks professional. That guy surely knows what he's doing. That's basically the reason why people do it. They want to show off, like they know, oh, I can change my colors on TradingView. I know how to trade. Again, if you want to do it, you do you, but I don't use it, and you shouldn't, in my opinion. Next up we have timeframes. Timeframes, of course, very important because you have to look at several timeframes. How can you look at timeframes? The left top corner you see only the day or the 4 hours, depends I guess on your setup. So timeframes you need. I use the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, the 50 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hours, the daily and the weekly. How do you enable this? That is just here, and don't have to go to this menu. You find the time frames you want, and you just favorite it. So 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. 1 minute is also the lowest time frame possible on the free version. More about if you should pay the premium versions later in the video. But so the 1 minute is yeah, the smallest time frame possible. 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, day and the week. Can add month maybe, but I don't really use it. If I use it, I just go here and then use the month there. But now as you see, it's already here. Very simple and very easy. Now we have that as well. You can easily switch between time frames without going to the menu. Very, very useful, of course. This is it. You don't have to use a 2-hour time frame or the 8-hour time frame or whatever. These are more than enough, unless you are a scalper or you have a very specific strategy not linked to price action. Then maybe you need it, but for price action or for beginners, these are more than enough. Even these are a lot for beginners, but I just mentioned this because I have this, and in the future you might need this, so maybe it's already nice to set it up right now. Next up, we have the drawing tools. As you saw in my video, I draw with a brush. I use lines, horizontal lines, I use trend lines, maybe I use boxes, paths, whatever. Here on the left you have the tools, I guess. You can look at it yourself, what else is available. There's a lot available, but I'm only going to go through what I use and how to have it in your screen here, but that you don't have to click here or go to the menu, that you just have a toolbox here. Very, very simple and useful. So I'm going to show what I use and what I have in my toolbox, but again, if you use other things, just add that to your toolbox. First thing I have is the horizontal line, and as you see, just like with the time frames, you just favorite it, horizontal line, and it appears here. So I use the horizontal line, horizontal ray, and the trend line, even though I don't really use trend lines anymore, but if you're a beginner, surely useful. That was it for here. Here I don't use anything, patterns, I don't use anything, and then projection, I'll come back to that later because I have some more important things, and that's of course the brush, and of course the rectangle, the path, and the circle. That's what I use, and then we'll come back here with long position, short position, price range, and date range. I also have 2 more things there, but I really don't use them. I use them sometimes just to look at things. I don't include them in my strategy or analysis, and that's the Fibonacci target and the volume, something with the volume. Anyways, you don't need that, but now they're here. If you want other things, as mentioned, just favorite it and it appears here. Now, if I use the horizontal line, of course, it's blue. I have it white if you want it blue, if you want it green, if you want it orange. Your choice, what you find more aesthetically pleasing and what works the most efficient for you. It's not that important because blue or white, the difference won't change if you're a profitable trader or not. But I prefer white because it's just the cleanest. But maybe black if you use the light mode. But if you use the light mode, then you're a bit weird. All jokes, of course. So how do you change it? You press on this line and then you see this toolbox. Normally this toolbox should pop up, I think. If not, you can just right click and go to settings. Basically the same. If this toolbox pops up, you can just change it here. This is the text color, so you don't need that for the moment. Just the line color is white, and then we have it. Now if you remove it, if you want to remove it, you just press on it and use the bin here, or press delete. That's what I do. Now the next horizontal line is automatically this. It just presets like this. The last one you did, so that's very useful that you don't have to change it every single time. Now horizontal ray, something I use most of the time because of course I want to pin this to a price point and look in the future. I don't want this price point to be in my whole chart. Same thing, you change it here. You make it white and it's white, and of course you can change other things as well, the text color more in a second, and also the thickness of the line, of course, and then some other things. All very simple, but I don't use it, but you can check it out yourself. It's really not that difficult. Now trend line, you can leave it at blue. I have it at blue, but I don't really use it sometimes to indicate something in a video or something. And then the box, also very important because the box or the rectangle, if I draw it right now, you see this, and that's not what I have. If you saw my videos, I have something that extends to the right and has it has a background, but it's see-through. So how can we change this? Now, if I want to indicate a zone, for example, this is not how you want to do it. So you make the box as with the line, it just presets to what you make right there. So here, then we change the color, text color later to, let's do gray, and this color also to gray. Why is it still this color? Oh, okay, so you have to change the text color. Alright, and now you have already a better box, but it still needs to extend to the right when I add it. How you change that? You make the box, you right click, settings, or maybe you can do it here as well, I don't know, settings, then you can see style, don't extend, no, extend to the right, and then it extends to the right. And now it's already better. It's not my specific colors later in the video, but now you can make the box here and it extends to the right. Very, very nice. Path, very simple. You can change the color if you want in the menu here as always, or change the thickness. One thing I want to say for beginners, but because you might struggle with that for a minute, if you want to end the path, you right click. So if you want to end it here, you have to right click. Very simple, very nice tip and trick. And then of course the circle, you can also change these colors, but I don't really use it that often, and if I use it, I just use the yellow one. I don't really care. Then the long position, of course, to when you're in a trade or want to make a trade, you use this, or you don't. I do use it. Long and short, and then these price range to look what price did, and of course the date range to look how many days it was. But these are, of course, you can also look at down here, or use the this tool here is also price thing, but I'll explain in a second why I prefer this one. Now one thing I want to explain is when I set my horizontal ray, often I set here level to gain, level to hold, failure, origin. Those are templates and are very easy to set up and very, very useful, because I made the template, level to gain for example, and maybe the thickness and the color, you can change that and edit the template, that when I right click and go to the template, it automatically says the text. Otherwise I would have to add the line, go to text, type in level to gain, but the template is very simple. So how do you make a template? You just do what you want. So settings, I prefer this here to add the text. So for example, level to gain. The text is still in blue, so I have to change it to white. Okay, level to gain. It's in the middle here. We don't want that in the middle, so just go to settings, and then you see text alignment. Bottom, I prefer bottom, but top is also useful. Center, no, we move it to the right and it's there. Now this is exactly what I want. As mentioned, you can still change the thickness. Let's do it maybe a small one, all good. And now you do template here, you see template and save as. New template name, for example, level to gain. And now you have a template. Now if I set another line, I can just right click on it, and you see template and you see level to gain here. If I press on it, it automatically adapts with everything with that. So templates, very simple and very useful, surely for beginners. Now another thing about templates is you can have it also for a horizontal line, of course, or for paths, I believe, and rectangles, but I don't really use that. Before we move on to the magnet feature, I want to say that I kind of forgot it in the beginning, but this here is a volume bar indicator. We don't use indicators, and surely not this one, so we just remove it by pressing on it, I think right clicking, and then we press remove, then it's gone. Should have mentioned it earlier in the video, but now it's gone. So I told you guys all drawing tools that I have, and now I'll talk about the magnet feature. The magnet feature is very important and very useful. TradingView is just the best platform to chart, to make your analysis, because it has so many free valuable features. Magnet is here on the screen. If magnet is on, it automatically snaps to a certain price point. So for example, if I want this to be on a price point, I don't have to do it here exactly, it's somewhere there, and then I just miss my entry because I misplaced this horizontal ray. If you use a magnet, as you already saw, it snaps to the candlestick, either to the wick or to the body, what you prefer, up and below, both. So that's very, very useful to have. It automatically snaps to the candlestick. Now you don't have to press magnet every time you want to snap it to candlestick. You can just press Ctrl on your keyboard, as I'm doing right now. And it doesn't work. Oh, now it works. It works now. Right now I'm holding Ctrl, you see the magnet is activated, and now if I hold it here, don't really have to place the ray first. You can instantly connect it to a level here, let's say this high, boom. Very, very simple. You have the price point exactly set, and don't have to fuck around and look and zoom in and change the coordinates. Very, very useful. Now this is also why I said I prefer this price range instead of this one. Of course I use this one to have just a quick broad measurement, but this one you can use the magnet feature and snap it to a candle, and then you can exactly see how much percent the move was, exactly on the dot on the percentage, which is nice for some specific things, of course. Now I think we covered almost everything here. As mentioned, there are a lot of other things. Feel free to check that out. The toolbox is set, so everything on the chart should be set for now. Then if you look to the right, we have the watch list. Watch list is something very underrated. I see many people just have tons of things there or have nothing there, or I don't know. As you've seen my videos, I have just the main things there. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, market cap as well, some altcoins, gold, just the main things I trade and look at every day. Now this is the basics. If you say, oh, I like this, you keep it. If you look at stocks, you keep the stocks, of course. But I prefer, of course, that you do it what you trade or what you're looking at every day or what you trade every day. So you don't have to search the symbol every single time. You can just see your watches and press on it, and it really shows what you want. So as mentioned, you can leave these if you say, oh, I trade Apple, nice, just keep it there. If you want to reset everything, you just press on the bin everywhere here. Also on the categories, I'll talk about how you add a category. So I delete everything. Nothing is there now, so let's add Apple, for example. I know it was there, but now to show you guys how to add, you see the company name or the asset name here, 3 dots, and then you see add AAPL to watch list. You press watch list and it's there. Let's do another one, Tesla, for example, to continue with the stocks trend. Same thing here, you press the 3 dots, add, and let's do also Bitcoin for the change with crypto. Bitcoin, you press 3 dots here, add to watch list. So now you have the watch list, and maybe add more crypto, maybe even forex, maybe gold, and you want it to have in a category. It's not necessary because you can just swap, so you have all the crypto, all the stocks. But if you want to have it nice structurally in folders, you can go here and add section. You name it crypto, and then you have Bitcoin here, you have Ethereum here, whatever you want for crypto. Then add section stocks. And then you just drag Bitcoin to crypto, of course, because you want it there, and then stocks there, and you can collapse it if you want. So that's very, very useful for the watch list. I think for the free version, you can have 20 to 25 assets there, which is more than enough for me personally. If you want to have more, you can use a little trick, which is, let's do Ethereum, for example. So you have the chart, and now instead of pressing on the 3 dots, you press on the flag symbol. Now it's flagged as red. There are other colors, and with the premium version you can have even more, but only one color works. So now Ethereum is on a red watch list. How do you look at your red watch list? For the first time you have to manually go to it first, but after that it will show itself. You go to watch list, open list, and then you see the red list is there, so you press on the red list. Now you see the red list with the symbols you put on the red list. Now if you want to go back to the watch list, you press again, open list, watch list, and now you're back, and now it should show as seen recently used. You can easily switch between those. So very simple, and then in total you can have around 50 assets marked or in your watch list, which is very useful because you can instantly press it and you instantly see the price when you open TradingView. Of course you can extend this if you would like more info, or close this, not close, I think you can close it somewhere, but make it as big or small as you would like to have it. Now I want to show one more thing on this watch list or on the right side of this panel, and that's the object tree, which is very, very nice. On the object tree you can see everything you have on the chart, so your horizontal rays, if I draw something, if I make a path, everything appears here. Now when you trade something, for example Tesla, for a year now, the chart is going to be very busy. Surely if you want to keep your previous trades in there and don't want to remove it, which I do for example, it gets messy. So what you can do is here you can create maps or hide things. So for example here, hide things is gone. You can also use the lock, so if you lock it you can't delete it, I believe. Yes, then you get a warning that do you want to remove it actually, so you don't do it on accident. But I personally don't lock things because you can just go back somewhere. I don't know where it is. Here it is. I just use Ctrl Z, but yeah, you can go back here. So I don't really use that feature, and of course delete it here as well. Also very useful is create maps or folders or create a group of drawings. How do you do this? You just select something, for example a path, create, you can rename the group of course to trade 1, and then everything in the trade you can drag it here, and then you have everything from the trade. Once the trade is done, or you want to look at a bigger picture or just want to look at something else, you just close this here, or it doesn't really matter, and you press invisible, and now everything that is in this thing is invisible, which is very nice of course. I have on Bitcoin for example 15 of these maps with trades, with market views on the bigger picture, just an example of liquidity there, blah blah blah. Then I can just enable it when I want to see it and disable it, or make it visible and not visible when I want or do not want it. Very useful. Last thing, I said it was the last thing maybe, but last thing you can see right here in the watch list is down here. If you have this asset, for example, we're on Tesla, you can see some stats or info about it. So you can see the price, some news event, I guess, some key stats, and especially for stocks, this might even be useful. You can see, of course, the earnings, the dividends, the performances, even the technicals. And surely for stocks, these are very important, of course, surely if you want to invest and not trade for the short term. So for stocks, this is very useful. For crypto, for example, for Bitcoin, it's a bit less useful. It just shows some stats and the technicals, the general sentiment, a bit less useful. I don't really use it, but for stocks, it can be very interesting. Just another couple of things, some small things to explain. The top right, you can press trade and connect with your broker, but I wouldn't do this at the start. Surely if you're not a beginner, and I'll make a separate video about that sometime soon, but it's very easy. So if you're more experienced with TradingView, you will figure it out yourself. Here you can take a snapshot, so you can download the image, and the image is only the chart, so not this on the left or the time frames, the watch list. You don't have to worry about that, it's just the chart. You can copy image or copy the link of the image. You can go full screen here, and then you of course have to drag this again, which is maybe a bit annoying. And then maybe the most important thing of the whole video, you have to save. When you draw something, sometimes it does automatically change, but most of the time it doesn't. You have to press save here, that it doesn't show save, because if I add something now, it says save again, and sometimes, as you just saw, it does automatically, but not every time. And I made that mistake at the start. I drew so many things, had my trade, had my analysis, then I log in again and it's gone. And I know that's a very stupid mistake, but here am I to save you the time. I'll probably save you some time with this, so leave a like. But now that's very important to save it. Then here, as mentioned, you can go back or go forward. Replay feature is only for premium subscription. You can set alerts. I don't use it, but you can add an alert on which symbol, condition, triggers. Very easy, just look at yourself. Indicators, maybe something important for many people. Personally, for me not, because price action doesn't require any indicators. But you can just search your indicator here. We want to use this one. You add it and then it appears in the chart. If you want to remove it, it is here. So under this arrow, you can see this indicator is called DC20, I guess, DC20. Just press the bin here and it's gone. So here are the indicators. Maybe you can look at some indicators if you want. Whatever. Here, candles, all sorts of candles. You can use bars, volume candles, or that's on free, or columns, whatever you want. But of course, just leave it on candles. Just leave it there because we're not trading with other things, surely not lines. And then this, as mentioned, we already had that. And now the most important thing, or not the most important thing, sorry that I mentioned it a lot, but how to find your exact asset. You might think, I'm trading Bitcoin, I'm looking at Bitcoin, I just search Bitcoin and one thing will appear. That's not true, because if I just type in Bitcoin here, oh, that's not Bitcoin. If I type in Bitcoin here, there are a lot of different Bitcoins, and there are differences, of course. Let me explain that right now. So first of all, you see here, this is the main thing you have to look at, BTC USD. Every symbol, so every cryptocurrency, every stock has its own ticker, as we call it. So it's 3 or 4 letters. For example, Bitcoin has BTC, Tesla has TSLA. And of course you have to use that ticker. You can easily search it up if you don't know the ticker, but for bigger currencies or stocks, you can just type in the full name, for example Ethereum, and then you'll find the asset as well. But for smaller companies maybe, or smaller pairs, you don't find it immediately. So for example, Bitcoin, BTC. Then of course you're trading Bitcoin against what? Against the dollar. If you're from Europe, and like me, I used the euros at the start, please just use a dollar. The euro is nothing in the financial market, surely not in trading, in investing. The euro is nothing in the financial markets, so use dollars. I know that might be annoying if you've been following price of some assets in euros that you have to switch to dollars now, but do it as quickly as possible. Short pain, it will save you money in the long run and also just gets you in the mood with dollars. Bitcoin, so against USD. So here you can already look at price. These are the different exchanges or brokers. And it's important, for example, if you trade on Binance, that you use the Binance chart, because there won't be big differences, but on every exchange, price differs a tiny little bit, and that can mess up your entry, can mess up your stop loss or your take profit, and that can cost you money. So make sure to use the right exchange because it has minor differences. And if you trade futures, for example, you trade crypto with leverage, you have to add .p because those are perpetual contracts, and that's where .p stands for. And then you can see here it also says perpetual. For example, I trade on Bybit, so I use the Bitcoin US dollar perpetual contract chart on Bybit. Maybe this looks a bit confusing now, why do I have to do all of this? But as mentioned, just add this one to your watch list and you'll never make mistakes. For example, gold, the ticker of gold is this, as you may know, USD, and of course in gold you can trade perpetual, so there's something like .p, just gold against the dollar. So the final part of this video is about TradingView Premium. Do you need it? My answer is no. No, you don't need it. Surely not as a beginner. I know many experienced traders or traders who became profitable just with TradingView free, because you can use indicators, you can use everything. The only basic thing maybe you can't use is a replay tool to backtest, but there are other sites to backtest, and me personally, I don't backtest. I just backtest my own trades, which I journal in another document, so I don't really need that. If you say I want to use a replay feature, okay, you can't, but you're not paying $100 a month for that. I don't know the exact prices or the exact packages, but you don't need it. You can have more things on your watch list, or can use the 1 second time frame, or this or that. But as a beginner, you really don't need this. Please don't spend any money on this. I know I have my affiliate link in the description. You can join TradingView there with my affiliate link, but I'm saying you don't buy anything surely as a beginner. Now sometimes surely at Black Friday there are a lot of promos, so maybe at Black Friday there's 90% off, I believe, this year, so then you can maybe look at it, but now with the regular price you don't have to look at it. So that was basically it. Last thing I'll show is the colors I have on my charts, but there are not many differences, but I'll show it anyways. So I didn't change the red color on my chart, but I did change the green color. I don't use this one, I use this one. So you have to change of course the body and the borders as well to this one. That's the one I use, but you can use another scent of green or whatever you want. Then of course leave this on default time zone, even if you're not from one of these places. For example UTC +1, I would say leave it on a universal time. I don't know what it means, because daily closes based on that time. Even if you're 5 hours ahead, the daily still closes at that time, so just use that time. Like you see, for example, now on the bottom I see 3 hours and 20 minutes left until the daily candle closes. So back to the settings here, status lines, I don't think anything here, I just have the basics. Then if you go to scales and lines, I also have the basics, only currency and unit is always visible. I don't think I changed anything here, no. Canvas maybe, of course gradient, and in the background I don't have this exact color, but I have something similar, but unfortunately I can't just copy it, or I didn't have a basic one, I have a customized one and I can't really see it, but it's slightly darker. But and then I think that's basically it. Let me check quickly. Trading of course is only useful if you link your broker or exchange with this. Alerts, if you use alerts, maybe look at this. And events, just leave it on the basics, because I don't really look at events through TradingView. But that was kind of it for this video, guys. I hope this was a good video. I explained how TradingView works, literally almost everything, surely the basics. I hope this was useful. As I mentioned, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Join the PA trading server, links is in the description. I'll see you there to trade and to improve your journey. And for now, I hope now you can use TradingView, make your analysis, and it's a clear workspace. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.